The United States is one of Zimbabwe's biggest donors, supplying food and medicine to millions of people. Based on the humanitarian support alone, it could be assumed that all is well between Harare and Washington. Not so. US-imposed sanctions remain a major stumbling block, despite Barack Obama lifting some embargoes.
We thought by now our relations would have been mended and Zimbabwe as a country would be doing well again.
We were hoping that probably, the sanctions that were cast upon us would be lifted, and everyone, we had high hopes in his tenure of office. But now when you look at things the way it is, nothing changed for us really. It was just the donor agencies from America, the USAID and stuff, but him himself to be on point in terms of Zimbabwe, I didn't see anything.
Local political commentators say Obama hasn't dealt with the Zimbabwe situation decisively.
He indeed made overtures in terms of removing almost all of Zimbabwe's political leaders, including state-owned companies, from the US sanctions. But in addressing the political question in Zimbabwe, he was sort of not that hands-on. One would have hoped that he would have directly engaged with President Robert Mugabe, invited him to the US-Africa summits that were held in the States, in Ethiopia, and engaged directly on their concerns on the democratic deficit in Zimbabwe.
While there is unhappiness over the progress made in restoring full diplomatic and economic ties, some young people see the positives in Obama's presidency.
I don't see him leaving being an impact towards us. It's like in any way. I just feel like it's something that has left us maybe motivation that anything is possible. If a black man can be a president in America, we also have greater things to look forward to.
Ultimately, Zimbabweans will measure any US government by how much progress it makes in resolving the sanctions. President Mugabe says the embargoes have hurt innocent citizens and stifled efforts to improve the economy. But some here believe the ball is in Zimbabwe's court.
Sanctions will only be removed based on what the Zimbabwean government proposes and what it tries to move in terms of its relations with the American government. Where there are no firm proposals, no firm lobbying, the sanctions will probably remain.
I think there's something that we can really expect, if our government is also willing to engage. And I think those relations that we're saying we want to re-engage the West, we can really come up to say we now have a point whereby we can negotiate with the West.
Zimbabwe has said it's ready to engage any Western government provided the sanctions it deems illegal are lifted. Farai Mwakutuya, CGTN, Harare, Zimbabwe.